Joining me now is Cyril Payen, a France 24 senior reporter and a former correspondent in the region. Cyril, strong words there from the UN Human Rights Chief, who's warning that we could see a situation not dissimilar to what we see now in Syria. Would you agree?
Well, yes, we're talking about strong words indeed, but what about acts? And you have very much statements, a lot of statements from the international community, and a huge and bigger and bigger gap between the expectations of the Myanmar or Burmese people, what they expect from us, from the international community, to go to their rescue. And it has been going on for 70 days. And statements like this one are important, extremely strong, very strong words indeed, but on the field, there is not much action. For instance, the UN sent an emissary, an envoy, special envoy for Myanmar, which is she's supposed to be touring Southeast Asia to try to lobby the country's neighboring Myanmar. But she has been quarantined for 7 days, so she's stuck in Bangkok in Thailand, just because people don't pay much attention to international community or diplomacy with respect to the crisis in Myanmar. So it tells a lot about the statements which can be done in New York at the UN Security Council, for instance, and what expect people on the ground, which is not very much because they lost a lot of their hopes.
Now, what exactly is the situation at the moment? Because, as we know, there are internet blackouts, so it's very difficult to get information out, isn't it?
The least we can say is that resilience is not an empty word by the Burmese perspective, and this Generation Z, because much of the members of the CDM, the civil disobedience movement, are young people, 15 to 25 years old, and they are extremely creative and resilient. So they are just going on, even if you have blackout, even if you said like over 700 people killed, 3,000 people arrested, hundreds have disappeared too, which is important in the country. So they print some paper, some clandestine paper like Molotov, which is extremely like the bombing Molotov, which is extremely famous now in the country, just to try to spread the news about what's going on, what will be the next move from this anti-junta movement. But every day they reinvent themselves, and they are extremely resilient in this respect.
I know that you're in constant touch with your contacts in that part of the world, and we are witnessing a collection of opposition groups. Do you think there will ever be enough unity among these groups to actually stand together and force the military out of power?
It's a very good question, because it looks like in Myanmar the only very solid institution is precisely the army. There is you have 2/3 of the population which is Bama, ethnic Bama majority, and 1/3 which is ethnics. We are talking about the 54 million population, and with lots of ethnicity and ethnic rebels or population who are spread in the west, on the Indian border, in the east, the Thai border, or in the China border. So to unite this movement are extremely difficult. The other case is also the centralization of the democratic movement, who was incarnated by Aung San Suu Kyi, which is now she's nowhere to be seen because she has been arrested. So this is probably one of the big challenge of this new generation, to organize themselves, to adjust themselves, and to unify with the ethnics, to move forward and to fight the junta.
And I imagine this is in the military's favour, because where there is division, one can rule that much easier.
Of course, and also with the neighboring China or Russia, we just provide the weapons and to push on this disunity, which is a key advantage for the army, of course.
Cyril Payen, thank you so much.